In this video, I'm going to talk to you about stopping chasing after validation. And the moment that you stop chasing after it, you realize that what you wanted from other people, it lives within you. It is not out there. And when you come to the self-realization of some of the topics I'm about to hit on, you can also tune into this power that you've had all along. But your mind has had you tricked into thinking that after you receive the validation from certain people, you could then feel attractive enough for them. So first off, chasing after validation, needing people's approval, something from outside of us. It is something that we feel like we need to control subconsciously. You ask someone and they're probably going to say, I don't control that. I don't care how people think. But deep down, there's a different story there. And where does that story come from? It comes from your ego. It comes from the silent neighbor that lives within your mind, that talks to you all day. And how do you come to grips with that neighbor or mind that continues to talk to me all day? Because that is who I am. Well, if that is who you are identifying with your ego. And what your ego wants is to be right. What the ego wants is to be able to win someone over that's not giving you what you want and making you feel a lack for their approval. And it continues to analyze it in your mind when you're not around this person. And it's making you create a story with this individual that is not even true. But because you have listened to your mind all along and not separated yourself from it, you have allowed that to create the reality you are currently living in. And when you start to realize, and when I mentioned self-realization, when I began the video, when you begin to realize that the ego is always going to talk, it's always going to be up there, but it's being able to shift the way that your ego talks to you, which is your self-concept. And having a healthier self-concept, a healthier mind that's always analyzing your whole day and everything in your relationships, what you're going to do, your likes, your dislikes, which comes from your programming, which is the sum of your learned experiences. The silent neighbor I mentioned, it is mentioned in the book, The Untethered Soul, the first few chapters. It talks about how your mind is talking to you and how to have a better relationship with it, and how it's created all of the negative emotions in you. And part of those negative emotions and stories is the needing of validation that we didn't once receive from either our parents or friends or people that we were really attracted to in our past, and them rejecting us, and then us feeling like we were not good enough back then, and subconsciously creating stories with people in the modern day, in your modern life right now, of you not being good enough for them, even though they've never told you that. But here is the paradox. Here is the mindset shift, the puzzle solver is becoming someone who's attractive for just being you and willing to love you, willing to love that inner child part of yourself that was once rejected by all those people. Most importantly, if it was rejected by a parent or one parent behaving in a certain way towards another, and you always had to cater to their emotions, what they wanted from you, the programming that they instilled in you, that you believed the right or wrong was always my parents' way, and you inherited those beliefs. They still live within you today. Till you're able to separate yourself and separate those tasks, knowing that it was never your job to make your parents feel at ease with life. It was your job to contribute to them and be willing to engage in a relationship with them. But it was never your job to do every single thing they wanted you to do in accordance to how they mapped it out for you. It was supposed to be you that made your own decisions, and most parents didn't allow the child to do that. There's a way to teach the child in the form of guidance, but not forcing them to do everything, not forcing what they like in the form of sports and music and friends they pick. This is all different forms of them taking on your task, and then you feeling like you were always attached to their task as well. There was no individuation back then. So a lot of those tendencies are carried on into our adult relationships. And when we're not receiving the validation or approval for a person that we feel a huge amount of physical attraction towards, we feel like it's our job to take on their task, which is it's up to them if they like us or not. And it should be up to you if you like yourself or not, and you're good whether they like you or not. And you become way more magnetic of an individual to those types of people you are attracted to, because you no longer need them. And they are not the end all be all to your happiness, that there's so many more people out there in the world. But another thing of putting so much importance on this one person, it pushes them away from you. You needing their validation so bad pushes them further away from you, because you just thinking about them is sending them energy like they need to do things for you to feel good about yourself. You're saying, I am broken, please fix me. I need your help with how I feel about myself because I don't feel good. And that's all part of the way that your mind has created your beliefs, your values, how you look at life, how you look at relationships, how you look at the outer world. And it's tough. I'm not saying that it's your fault 100%, but I'm bringing it up here because if it's triggering you to help you, to start to look at life with new eyes. And how you can begin to do that is to disassociate yourself with the story that your mind has been creating for you, which is your ego. And knowing that when you do get rejected, it's people doing you a favor. It's people giving you a hand in life. It could be that they hurt your feelings and it makes you pick up a lot of topics about spirituality. It could be that they've rejected you and then you started to study the dynamics in relationships and why the human mind thinks the way it does or chases after people that are not reciprocating that same type of energy. Have you ever felt yourself chasing after someone because they don't like you? To try to change their opinion of you because it doesn't feel good? That is not a chasing of that person's love. That is chasing the pattern that you're addicted to, feeling that way. You don't realize it. And you're down when they're not giving you attention, but you feel a high when they give you small glimpses of being willing to give you some of their energy, give you some attention. Really, why they are not completely giving you their full energy is because there may be something you're hiding. And it's a toxic relationship dynamic there, especially if you're the empath in the relationship and they're someone that could have a lot of narcissistic qualities or self-absorbed qualities, that they feel like they're better than other people. People who are sensitive attract a lot of people who feel like they're better than others. But the only way to put that to rest is to begin to be okay with an attractive person looking your way, texting you back, being willing to go on a date with you if you ask them, or not, because you gain confidence. You gain confidence in yourself. You're also gaining confidence in others, that whether they're being closed-minded, asleep, not someone who's living awake, that you don't have to hate them, judge them, banish them. Just allow them to be who they are and let go of the control that your mind is creating in your head. And how to get at peace with the mind is to just sit still sometimes in the quiet at home, or just reading, or meditation. There's a form of meditation where you don't even need to close your eyes, where you just stare into a candle. And when you can just observe your thoughts, you are aware of being aware. That's where you begin to live with awareness. And being aware of being aware is being the conscious observer of your subconscious patterns. And knowing that it's not your fault that those things are stuck in there. And learning to live at peace with things that happened in the past, and not creating stories and realities that you don't like within your field, within your energy, within your presence, your present moment. Doesn't take on these stories. It doesn't allow other people to make you feel like that. You're still loving with others. You still create relationships and take chances. But you don't come out of each one of those things as the victim. The victim comes from the ego. It's also that story. I am the victim. This person did this. Therefore, I need to do this to achieve that next time. See how that could just be a story I'm openly talking about, that I may have talked to myself that way. And when I let go of those stories and learn to open my eyes to spirituality and the reality that is in front of me and the people that I thought didn't like me, and learn to love all. I don't want them all in my life. I don't want toxic people to have relationships with me, because then I have the burden of them wanting to hang out with me, wanting everything from me, wanting this and that. You don't want everyone to love you. You don't want everyone to be in your life either. It's something from our past, the rejection. There's a void that wants to be filled there. So you think you want everyone to like you. So you chase after people, even toxic ones that aren't good for you. You don't want that. You want people who are going to resonate with the real you. And that's a lot of the topics I bring up on the channel, is being our true, authentic self and taking the power back and not projecting needs on people, projecting wants on people. I want your validation. I need your approval. I want your like on my Instagram post. I want you to follow me back. I want. Could you imagine if you were on a video call, or like you sent someone a picture on Instagram saying, I want you. I want this. Give it to me. They would probably just block you and delete you immediately. Don't do that. But anyway, start to be more aware of your silent neighbor that lives up here. Have a better relationship with it. Change your self-talk. It talks to you all day, but when you can be more at peace with the present moment and love who you are right now, regardless of what you have, and love what you do have, and not embody that lack, that feeling of lack for that person's validation or approval. That you're going to be good either way, whether this 10 or whatever you rate them at, this person that's a 10, it's good if we have them in our lives. It's also great not having them in our lives. And if a 10 is not someone you want because they have high standards, go for a 7 or an 8. You do you. You know what you like. We all like different things in people. Be open and be yourself. Don't be afraid to share certain things about you from your past when you become more comfortable with them. Because those are things that you're keeping hidden down there, and they keep getting suppressed and repressed via the ego and the mind and the silent neighbor chattering with you. So when you start to come to grips with a lot of these topics I mentioned on today's video, you're going to find peace. You're going to find love for yourself. And when you start to view yourself with that love, with that peace, with that gratitude puts you in a state of receivership. Whether it's just great friendships to begin, that great relationship, if it's a partner you're looking for, is not far off either. So try living like that this week. See how it goes. If something resonated with you in this video, leave me a comment. Stay grounded within your own energy and keep pushing forward.